Good morrow, Internet. The Grizzle Enthusiast TGE here, and we're back with another deck guide. I haven't done one of these in a minute, so I thought I'll revisit it, because why not? It's my channel. I do what I want. This week, Riot Games released a new expansion for Legends of Runeterra called Rise of the Underworld, and with it, we've got a whole bunch of new cards as standard. We got 3 new champions, which I'm gonna try to do deck guides for all of them. Well, 2 of them go on one deck, but we'll talk about that later. But the one that we're going to address today is Ekko.
Pity. Such power wasted on such ignorant minds.
Which I found him to just be like super cool. I personally have not played, League of Legends, so I don't know the lore about everything. I've done little bits and pieces here and there just so I can become accustomed to it, and Ekko was one that was like, oh, this guy's pretty cool, he's super legit. So I was like, okay, when his card came out, I was like, all right, so what kind of champion is he? He's a predict champion. I was like, what other predict champion is there? Zilean. So the deck I'm going to go over today is an Ekko / Zilean deck. Let's get into it. So as I stated earlier, the 2 champions of this deck are Zilean and Ekko. So what the whole focus of the deck is, you got to predict. Because Ekko's level up is you have to predict 5 times, and then he levels up to his next his level 2 form, which is awesome. However, he's not the real main focus of the deck. He's more of a supporting aspect for this, because the main champion that we're looking at is Zilean. Zilean's ability is, if you set off 2 time bombs, then you'll level up. However, when you play Zilean, he has an ability of, he makes 4 time bombs. With these time bombs, they also count as things that not only predict, but you draw a card. And once he comes into play, you make 4 of those time bombs, so they slide into the deck, you predict, and that's not only, it's a level up for Ekko, and also you can draw through your deck to eventually hit the time bombs. Once you've hit 2 time bombs and Zilean levels up, the game changes into this whole big, you just outvalue your opponent. Most people are going to target Zilean because they know once he levels up, it gets a little bit difficult to get rid of him, because he's got just a big ass, 5 toughness. That beats over Grasping the Undying. You can't Mystic Shot it. Basically, the only thing that can really get it is Vengeance. If you Atrocity something big enough for it, what else can we get there? Thermogenic Beam, which we'll go over, and just some Piltover stuff. But yeah, it's just so big, it's just massive. Look at him. But his ability is, any card that you've played that doesn't have fleeting, it's going to come back as a fleeting copy of itself. So effectively, you will, any card that you play, like let's say you played a Mystic Shot, or you played Thermogenic Beam, or if you played any of the other quick play battle traps that we're going to go over, Zilean effectively means like, hey, you get them twice again, which makes it hard for your opponent to like try to get around it, because if you could countered or stopped one thing, well, it's going to come back, and it's happened over and over and over again. So Zilean's top of the deck. Ekko is, like I said, it's the supporting champion in here, just because he's so frail. Even after he levels up, he only has 3 toughness. That's gonna get smacked by everything, and trying to keep Ekko alive is so hard. In my original plays, when I was trying to like get this guy to work, it was just a magnet for any sort of removal. It just was dying on the regular. So once I got into my head that Ekko is the supporting champion and not the main focus, it got a lot easier to work with. But I will say, that doesn't underestimate the fact that Ekko is a BAMF. For the fact of whenever he strikes, and he has quick attack and 5 attacks, so he falls in that glass cannon sort of area where, yes, he's got attacks, he got attack power, but you just better hope it hits. So whenever he hits, even on his pre-evolved, even his pre-leveled up state, it has the ability of strike and create a time trick. Time trick is going to make it so that anytime you predict, you will draw a card. So effectively, yeah, he's a card draw engine, which works really well with the fact that you have Zilean, who's just going to keep using it over and over again. And the fact that it has predict on it will pre-level up, will help him level up himself, so he can even enable his own level up. I don't want people to take that as a way of like, oh, I can just use him as a draw engine. No, 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 no. He's good, but he's only good with Shurima. There's no other region that supports Predict enough that he can be in any other deck. I've tried, it's horrible. And I've seen other versions, it's horrible. So if you want to run Ekko, it has to be in the Shurima build. That's just what it is. I'm sorry, folks, but that's just what it is. That rant aside, it's a pretty interesting combination. One thing I want to go over, it's a control deck. Me as a go-face aggro player had a little bit of, let's say, challenges trying to get in here to figure out how it worked and when I'm supposed to attack, when I'm supposed to hold back. But it's just like any other control deck of you have to hold back your resources and ping the heavy threats that present themselves, so you can save up your big creature, you can save up your champions or any other creatures to just go in and slap fight. So these are mainly how the deck works. So you predict a bunch, you level these guys up, you outvalue your opponents, and you just slap them all over the place with Ekko. Pretty simple, right? So how do we support these two Time Lords? Time Lords? Oh, I cannot believe I have not made a Doctor Who joke. Oh, it was right there. It was right there and I didn't. Damn. Moving on. So it's been stated that this deck is all about predictions. So how do we enable it? Like I asked. All this, just predict. As many predict cards that you can get. Okay, that was a slight caveat. Not every predict cards, because there's some that came in that don't really do anything or advance your board state. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that if it has predict, it can do something else that supports your gameplay. So like Ancient Predictions, not only does it predict, but count down to 2, you're going to get a creature, which is good for blocker. Fallen Feline is I love Fallen Feline, it's such a cool card. So what Fallen Feline is, come and create a hex crystal to say next to it in the bottom 10 cards of your deck. So every time you predict, you shuffle your deck, so it'll be okay. So along with that, you will make these Hexian crystals. So with the Hexian crystals, it's effectively just a board wipe. Think of Withering Whales, or that one, oh, what's that one thing from Fridge? Oh my god, I can't remember the region's name. Freljord, the landmark of, hold on, Blighted Revan. Oh, sweet merciful, I got that eventually. So it's like Blighted Revan, just without the fact that it heals you. So when Hexian is seen in a prediction, it's automatic. If you see your prediction, draw me. Yeah, so it automatically goes to your hand. It deals 2 damage to an enemy, like 2 enemies. So everything, and enemy nexus. So that's pretty good. Also, no plunder. No plunder's not in this one, but still, look at that. It's basically a board wipe, which works really good against aggro decks. Really, you have to keep Fallen Feline in there just so you can have access to these Hexian crystals, or put them in your deck. I personally don't. I just use Fallen Feline for that. So, yeah. Next one we're gonna go over is Practical Perfectionist. Play it predicts, and with her prediction is once you predict, you create 3 copies of whatever you choose. So like say you get a Hexian crystal, you can make 3 copies of that in your deck. So on top of the 10 that the Feline made, you put an extra in there, so for 13. That's 13 board wipes effectively that you could possibly have in there. Or just, 13 versions to do damage on that, which is nice. So basically whatever you want, you can make more copies to put into your deck. Also, a little something about this deck is I found it very hard to deck out on it. Just because you're putting so many things in your deck over and over again, you don't really deck out. So it's pretty funny. But I'm pretty sure the Watcher will easily do that. But I digress from that one. Next one we go for is Aspiring Chronomancer, and it predicts. It predicts, and it's got a big body. 2/3 for 2 mana. Yeah, it's good against early game aggression. It's a magnet for removal, so something will hit that instead of the Ekko that's going to come in, so nice. It also diverts attention away from Zilean because it's also a big blocker, and it can sometimes take out early game threats, so yeah, why not keep it. Time Trick, yes. Oh, excuse me. Ekko does make time tricks whenever he strikes, however, that's not enough. you have to put your own time tricks in there so that you're not completely relying on Ekko to strike to enable his own thing. All of these cards in here help Ekko himself level up. So yeah, Ekko doesn't even need to be on the field for it. As long as you predict, you're fine. With this plus a draw, great. And if you somehow got this your prediction off of Practical Perfectionist, then you've just got more versions of your deck. So you can draw, predict. It's just a good card, good draw engine, good everything. Next we're going to go over is Time Bomb, and you make Time Bombs off of Zilean. So with that, it's basically it predicts. Yeah, you predict. Once Zilean hits the field, you make 4 of these into your deck, you predict, and then you can draw one. Yep, you draw one. So cool, awesome. Also, an interesting fact is if you play another Time Bomb on top of the one that you already have on the field, it sets off the first one, and then you get to draw. So effectively, you do 2 damage in that one turn. You know, because that's at the end of the turn. Whatever, you effectively do 2 damage. So yeah, you have a lot of just removal. You have a lot of damage dealing that's available to you. So yeah, that shouldn't be a big problem. Time Bomb, nice. And also, if you see it with the Perfectionist, you can make 3 more copies, so it's more likely that you'll draw it to help Zilean's level up. Zilean is possibly one of the most difficult champions to level up and navigate, just for the fact that he needs you to draw these Time Bombs and then play them and make sure it all goes fine. Not many people are running landmark removal, but it's out there. And if Zilean gets hit, then the Time Bombs don't really do anything. Yeah, they're good removal to have, so just be aware that sometimes Zilean is going to be the magnet for your removal, but you got these, so yeah, it's okay. Yeah. So we've touched on the fact that we need to predict in all the prediction cards. So what do we do with that? What else do we fill the deck with? Well, Shurima and Piltover are really good at doing 2 things. Shurima's good at battle traps, and Piltover is great at just dealing damage. So those 2 things really help in the control aspect of the deck. So from Shurima we've got Scrying Sands and Quicksand. Scrying Sands doesn't only just allow prediction, but it gives an enemy -2, -0. So you may be able to like smack over something if they're coming at you with, I don't know, whatever creature they decide to come at you with. -2 is it's pretty good. It's pretty light. You're either gonna make your own creature survive or make sure that it's gonna end up in a cross. So yeah, that's fine. The big one that I feel that this deck could not live without is Quicksand. Quicksand gives the creature that you target -4/-0, nice, and also loses all keyword abilities. So if it has elusive, tough, overwhelm, just whatever those keyword abilities may be, it loses that off this at -4. So that makes it easier to just hit over things that you've been having a hard time dealing with. Yes. On top of that, with the effect of you play this and then you have Zilean on the field, you effectively will get to play it twice. Unfortunately, it will be fleeting and your opponent may see it coming, but another Quicksand on top of that, oh yeah buddy, this is good. So down there from Piltover, what we're gonna have is Mystic Shot and Cult Shot. Oh, 2 shots. I wonder if I can say shots. Shots. Pretty sure that's not before I get a copyright strike. Anyway, Mystic Shot. Basically in any Piltover deck, Mystic Shot is in there. It deals 2 damage at fast speed. Yeah, that's pretty much it. 2 spell deals 2 damage. That's just fair. Yeah. And then I also run called shots in there along with Ekko, just in case something happens with my Ekko and I don't want to completely depend on having 2 Ekkos to have the spell. The spell's really good because not only does it draw you 1, but it creates a parallel. How do you pronounce this? Parallel convergence. There we go. I can read. You get a parallel convergence in the deck, which I'll bring up right now on the screen. God, I wish I got better art for that. Anyway, parallel convergence, basically it starts a free attack with 0 copies of everything that you have on your bench. So if you are lucky enough and you have a full bench of 6 units, you play this for format. Yeah, it's slow speed, but it's okay. You play it, you get 0 copies of everything, and even their abilities will kick in. So if you have a copy of Ekko down there, while it's a 0 copy will attack, when it strikes, hopefully if it strikes, you will get the time trick off of that, so then you get a draw. And if it's at level 2, then it's going to cost you nothing. is great. Yes, and the ethereal copies will disappear, but however, you got a free attack on a full bench. You come out with your other units, it's game. Because if your opponent had to probably block the initial wave, oh lord. If your opponent had to block the initial wave, they will not have enough to come in for your actual attack. So this is really good. I really like it. Especially if you have your perfectionist and you're able to get this to the field, then you'll just put more copies in your deck. Yeah, this deck is basically around making copies and throwing the deck so you can keep drawing and just like smack over value. That's what this whole thing is. Like any control deck, you're out valuing the opponent. Two other cards that I want to talk about that I didn't have room to talk about, well, put them on the screen anyway, is Thermogenic Beam and Rite of Negation. Rite of Negation, if you've been playing since Runeterra got introduced, this is just your negate card. If being in a control deck, you need to stop your opponent from doing really big, crazy plays. Yes, you arguably have enough firepower with Mystic Shot, the Hex Crystals, and maybe Zilean to repeat them over and over again to get rid of most things. But sometimes there could be just a big spell that comes in, like you need to stop the Vengeance, you need to stop the Atrocity, you need to stop the Frostbite for whatever, Frost Winds, whatever you need to stop that's within the fast or slow speed or an ability, because Plunder is a thing or whatever. Yeah, you need to have Rite of Negation. I run it. Yeah. Along with that is Thermogenic Beam. Thermogenic Beam is your ultimate on removal for everything, because yes, it does take all the mana that you have in your pool to get rid of whatever. So effectively you can get rid of up to things that have 10 tough, 13, does it go to 13? Yep, 13. So you can get up to anything that's 13 toughness, which is great. And if it has been played while Zilean is leveled up, you will effectively get another copy. So you can destroy something again on your opponent's, well, on the next turn. So yeah, these guys are just really good support options to have. I stand for them. And all of those cards were the ones that I feel are the auto includes in this Ekko Zilean deck. The deck has pretty much been already made for the simple fact that everything in there needs to be either be predict or can deal some sort of damage, or just really works within that sort of like shell. Everything that I've shown is pretty generic, that if you were to make a deck to go look it up, like say on Mobilytics or wherever you choose to get your deck from, those are pretty much the standard cards you're going to see all over the place. However, I will show you like the little bitty flares that I put on mine. So some of the options that I've personally decided to put in the deck to make it work a little bit better. For one, Size Scout not only, well, scouts for predict, but it also has the ability of, if it sees a landmark, so the Ancient Preparation or a Time Bomb, it'll have elusive. So you have elusive 2/4, so that's pretty good. It's got a big butt on it. It can take out pretty low threats and predicts. Why not? She's pretty good, but I only run one copy because I tried to run extras, but I noticed she was very clunky in there, so I really took her out for, I think, some Thermogenic Beams and a Mystic Shot, so not too bad about it. It worked a lot better. The next one I'm gonna say that I put in here for my own is the Chirian Slump Worker. Yeah, we're gonna go with that one. So I chose to put him in there for one. It's an elusive target. I really think there's a lot of elusive in here. Whatever. So I use it one as an elusive target. It's a 1/2, so it's an early game drop that'll help you. But its ability, if you play another one of it, it obliterates itself, and every other copy in your deck becomes Slum Worker Pose. And that just has elusive 4/2, and whenever it attacks, it deals 1 damage to enemies at enemy nexus. So that's just big overall damage, more widespread damage, helps against those aggro decks, and you know, you slap in for 4, that's elusive. Yeah. And let's also say, yet again, you get some perfectionists, you put more copies of this in your deck, you just get more elusive units to use. So yeah, who doesn't love elusive units? And the last one I'm going to discuss, and probably the alt win con for the deck, is Kahiri the Returned. I can't take full credit for this one because I feel more people are starting to use it more frequently because of his ability of when you summon, create a copy of me in your deck. When you see me in a prediction, grant all allied copies of me +2/+2. So as many copies as you make of this guy and he comes into your prediction in the deck, he will get +2/+2. So that means every time, so it stacks. I got him to a 12-12 once, and that was fun. With Fearsome, your opponent has to use bigger creatures to block this guy. So, a big alt win condition of just, you know, slapping your opponent in the face with something that's huge and massive. Yeah, I like him. He's fun. That's it for my deck guide, everybody. Like I said, it was going to be really short. I'm trying a new format right now. A little bit of the old one, a little bit of the new one. So, if you like what you saw, please like and subscribe and leave a comment about what have you been using. Have you used Zilean Ekko, and how do you feel about it? And if you found a new way to use some cards I probably haven't thought about, let me know. I'm always willing to learn. Also, go follow my Twitter. I post there. Yeah, I post there. I thought I was going to make it through one recording without burping, but oh well. So, wherever you guys are at in the world, I just hope you continue to be safe and awesome. Later, folks. Hey, it's me in the future. So I was editing the video and I forgot. Oh crap! I forgot one certain thing. I forgot to mention one very important card. This thing, right here, Chrono Break. So whenever Ekko levels up, he's able to put 3 of these Chrono Breaks in the deck, and what it does is, anytime you play one, it revives all dead allies, and then you rally. So let's say you attack, all your creatures die. Chrono Break, they all come back. You get to attack again. Opposite, your opponent attacks and you block everything. Your turn, play Chrono Break, rally, strike back. So this is the win condition for Ekko, which makes it pretty fun and cool. Yeah, I just wanted to put that in here before, you know, some people will be like, you didn't mention it. There, I mentioned it. Wherever I put in the video, I mentioned it. It's there. Suck it.